Hello and welcome to the Futro Hidden Movie Gems podcast. I'm your host, Ty Spiker Christensen. Let's see, what's my quote? Well, I know you're dying of cancer and I don't really want to be your friend, but my mom says I should be friends with you, so please, let me just hang out with you. We've got Jordan Christensen on the pod.
Oh, the only thing I can think of is what the black kid keeps saying, but I'm trying to think of a better word.
Something besides Jordan, is that the only thing, the only quote you remember from this movie? You're fucking kidding me?
It reminds me of that one female cop in Hot Fuzz that was always saying perverse things. Yeah. Or him and the mumbling guy that's always like, he's just always saying something really perverse. So let's get into, and we've got Cameron Mickle on the pod.
You're going to take her out for ice cream. And you're going to take me too, because I love that shiz.
And we have Brighton Forsgren.
I see myself dying of a panic attack 2 weeks in.
So, guys, today we're discussing a little indie film called Me and Earl and the Dying Girl. That's very easy to say. The movie came out in 2015. It was directed by Alfonso Gomez Rejon. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Written by Jesse Andrews. And it stars all cast and crew. It's got Thomas Mann as Greg, R.J. Seiler, Olivia Cook, Nick Offerman.
Guess who makes an appearance, Ty, in the new Halloween movie? This
Connie
kid
Britton.
in this movie. The
Thomas
main kid.
Mann?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
And guess who else makes an appearance?
Jim
Cummings.
I was excited when I heard that. It makes me actually want to go see the Halloween movie.
I know, right?
So just because he's
Molly
in it.
Shannon, John Berthenol, which is great. John Berthenol. Or Bernthal.
Berthenol?
I talk about Ron Swanson.
Berthenol. No, that's Nick Offerman. Or Offerman. I don't know if it's Offerman or Offerman. Offerman? I don't even know if he is Nick Offerman. I don't recognize him without the mustache.
Yeah.
I think it's a sin to put him in a movie without a mustache. Matt Bennett and Catherine Hughes and a few others.
And playing a role, he's just like a complete
Bobby J.
opposite of
Jones.
how he normally is. I love it.
Yes, very good. And Hugh Jackman's voice is in this movie,
Yeah.
I think. I remember hearing his voice. That was pretty funny. Plot synopsis of this movie, or do we say what it was like watching it the first time, I think?
Plot synopsis.
So, Cameron, why don't you start us off? What was it like watching this movie for the first time and rewatching it for the podcast?
Alrighty. Man, I'm trying to remember the first time I watched it. Was it with you, Jordan?
Wait, Cameron, can you just tell for the audience, like, this was exactly my high school experience?
I was very like this kid in high school to where, like, I always was, like, super, like...
Self-hating?
No,
Yeah, I was going to say, Cameron, you're like football player.
I just don't see you being like Greg Gaines at all.
Yeah, I don't see you as this kid.
I was, like, very good friends with, like, everybody, but, like, I had a very small group that I was, like, actually good friends with.
So you were in a clique.
I was very well known, but not popular at
Cameron,
all.
this was me, Cameron. I hung out with the kids in the library, and kids beat me up in school.
How often did he get beat up? He literally only got beat up because he got in that fight.
Well, Jordan doesn't tell people that I, as his younger brother, was beating him up in high school. It was quite often. The beatings were frequent.
No, but like his strategy of high school is exactly how I saw high school. I was just like, I'm just going to be decently good friends with everybody and just not.
And you got high on cookies, Cameron?
Anyway, you guys are the most annoying mother ever. Oh my gosh. Anyway, so watching it for the first time, I don't remember when I watched it, but I absolutely loved this movie. I think I watched it for the first time during the Great Awakening.
You're best friends with the lunch lady?
Anyway.
All right, compose yourself, Jordan. You got it out of your system yet?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm sorry.
Gosh dang. Okay, well then, I literally lost my train of thought. Oh yeah, so I first time, I don't remember for first time watching this, but I absolutely loved it, and since then I've watched it I think 3 or 4 times. I love showing people this movie. Cinematically, it's so beautiful. There's a reason it won Sundance Film Festival, and it's just like it's such a sweet story.
Because it's about cancer. We need to have this difficult conversation. It's about cancer. The big C word.
Oh my gosh.
All right. Cancer's funny to me. I know it's not.
Children.
I know people that have cancer that have died of cancer.
Children.
You're freaking AIDS, Cameron, all right? Right back at you. I think cancer's funny. I know it's not, but it's funny in this movie. It's not funny in this movie. This movie's really sad. I watched it for the first time ever, and I know Cameron's been clamoring to see this, and all I could think of was when I was watching, I was like, Cameron loves this movie. He loves Donnie Darko, and I know exactly why. So it's good. It was good fun. That was my experience. Jordan, how about you? What was it like watching it for the first time and watching it for the podcast?
First time, I wanted to hold off, and I wanted the first time to be right before the podcast because I knew I was going to love this movie. But my roommate's like, no, you have to watch it. And then finally, he got a group together, and we went downstairs and we watched it. Oh, actually, the first time he got a group together and went down and I started it, I'm like, no, I'm going to save this. And so I left. And then later he did it a second time because he's like, you're going to watch this. And of course, I cried at the end. I bawled my eyes out. It's a very good movie, very powerful. And then rewatching it, I was like, I'm not going to cry this time. I know what's going to happen. And then I cried at the end again. I was like, gosh dang it.
Yeah, you did. You did.
Great movie.
Excellent. How about you, Brighton? What was it like watching it for the first time, rewatching it for the pod?
The first time I watched it, I saw it in theaters with my little sister.
Oh, wow.
I had just gotten a car and I dragged her to the movie theaters with me. And it was life-changing. I remember it was literally just us two and like one other guy in the theater. And like I think all of us had the same like emotional experience. So it was really beautiful. And then I watched it. I literally just got done watching it to watch it for the podcast, and same feelings. I was on just my couch and just overwhelming.
These cameras aren't good enough to tell if your eyes are swollen or not.
You gotta explain as well, Brighton, that you've read the book.
Oh, I have read.
Oh, it's a book?
Yeah. So I fell in love with the movie, and then I read the book. And if I'm being honest, I didn't really like the book as much as I liked the movie.
Oh, wow.
But
that doesn't happen often.
I know. And I think it's because I saw...
Watching it,
I feel like
it first
also,
as opposed to reading it first.
Yeah, and also I feel like the movie might offer like a more optimistic view because I think they use like visual humor to kind of lighten the mood a lot.
Well, in the book, I remember it being... It's been a minute since I've read it, but I remember in the book it was very... Like, I felt like they got his sense of humor portrayed very well in the movie. But I think it was just visually more pleasing. In the book, I remember him being so, like, self-deprecating all the time was way more of a theme. Whereas in the film, I feel like it didn't come across as much. I don't know. There were, like, pros and cons to both, but I do remember liking the movie more. And maybe it's just because I like having a visual connection to what I see or to what I'm, like, consuming media-wise. I don't know.
That's great. Well, and I think that's interesting because, like, I mean, if you were to say, like, this is a movie about mental illness,
yeah,
like very akin. I don't know. Has anyone here seen the movie? It's kind of a funny story with Zach Galifianakis and the kid from Atypical. No one's seen this movie. The kid has like a botched suicide and he ends up in a hospital mental psych ward and he ends up being friends with is it Nick Offerman? No, it's Zach Galifianakis, which is why I thought it was Nick Offerman. It's a good movie, but it's so much like this. I really feel like, Cameron, if you like this movie, you're gonna like. It's kind of a funny story, but the movie's kind of bleak and it's kind of sad and it has those overtones, but somehow it has like indie film elements to it where it kind of brightens the mood, and it's kind of fun too. Like, who doesn't love someone in your movie that makes little films, especially like knockoff of popular movies? Like, those are really fun, the claymation and all that stuff.
A Sockwork Orange? Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Yes.
I knew Jordan would like that.
He's the only one here.
Scene, Jordan. The song.
So, has everyone shared, or Jordan, did you go?
Yes.
Oh yeah, you did. But let's go around saying two of our favorite things. Why don't you start us off with, Brighton? Two of your favorite things from this film.
Two of my favorite things. Maybe just something that I noticed this time that I hadn't noticed previous times watching it. In the very, very beginning, when he's talking about it was the best of times, it was the worst of times, and he's describing these like overly exaggerated, like what would be the best situation ever and what would be the worst situation ever. He has this one situation where this girl is like playing the harp, and that would be like his best of times as you're eating a bunch of, I can't remember what food he's eating. And then I like
Korean noodles or something?
Yeah, something like that.
Thai or something, yeah, Thai food or something.
Yeah. And then you look over and it's the girl like playing the harp, and I think, and maybe I'm reading too far into it, although because it's an indie film I don't think I am, where I think maybe that was like it saying that was his best of times when he's finally like back on top of his life and like being able to look back on the situation and like process it and write about it and use it as a way to move him forward in his life. Like maybe that was his best of times, as bleak as they were, or as like as sad as they would have sounded on paper. I don't know. I liked that one part of it. And then I think another part that I loved is, I mean, obviously I love the history teacher, but I'm gonna go further and I'm gonna say I like the like set design of all of it. I think everything was like so well thought out, and like every single frame is like a picture that like I would want to frame on my wall, you know? I don't know. I feel like it was just so beautiful to watch, and in turn told a really beautiful story. I don't know. That's me.
Wonderful. All right. Cameron, how about you? 2 of your favorite things, man.
I loved Earl's like emotional intelligence. I just loved how like he kind of like masked it with trying to be like a tough guy and stuff like that. But like the 2 scene.
Earl is RJ. Are you talking about RJ or are you talking about Thomas Mann, Greg?
RJ is Earl.
Oh, I know. So you are talking about Earl, right? I thought you meant the protagonist. Sorry.
He has no emotional intelligence.
Yeah.
Greg sucks.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So, but again, I was just confused because for some reason, Okay,
That's
so
why
you are
it's
talking
me
about
and Earl and the dying girl.
I know. I thought you made the mistake of... anyway. So are you saying that the character I think you're like doesn't have good emotional intelligence, Cameron? What are you talking about? You've got great emotional intelligence. Don't be so hard on yourself.
Anyway, like I
Maybe
was...
you have more in common
Can
with
I
Earl.
make a comment? Oh my gosh. Anyways, I love Earl's emotional intelligence. That's kind of like he tries to mask like this masculinity of like being a super tough kid because he's grown up in a tough neighborhood. But I love just how easily he pins people. Especially, I love the conversation he has with Rachel, and she's kind of like, why does he say you guys are business partners? And then he just says, oh, that's because he doesn't like calling people his friends. He got issues. He's too scared that if anyone tells him that, or if he tells anyone that they're his friend, and they tell him that they're not his friend, he might have to kill himself. I just love how he tries to make it seem like he's like not like that emotionally intelligent, but just really is and just really understands it. And the second time it made me cry when he's talking about Rachel, and he said like, you made me feel blessed. Like, I just thought that's just so sweet, and just like him being the super tough guy, but then he's just like you make me feel blessed. I thought that was so sweet. And my second favorite thing is just like I felt like the overall theme of the movie, which was given to Greg from Mr. McCarty, John Bernthal's character, and I just love when he talked about this story about his dad and how he used to pick up Swiss or German chicks like in bars, singing them like Swiss songs, and he's just like, that was something I learned about my dad after he had passed. And he goes, just like once a person passed doesn't mean that you can't stop learning about them. And so I just thought that was super sweet because I heard there's like a lyric from a singer who says like, you die twice, once when they bury you in the grave and the second time is the last time that anybody mentions your name. And so I feel like that's like a super special part about this movie. I feel like it's almost talking about family history to where like you can still learn about people after they've passed, and you can even learn more about them after they pass, like through people and their experiences, which like keeps them alive essentially.
Has anyone here seen, I love what you were saying, Cameron. Has anyone here seen the TV series Atypical on Netflix?
Yes, love that TV show.
You've seen it as well, Brian. Cameron, have you seen Atypical yet?
I have not.
Okay, if you like this, I just get super atypical vibes watching this, and it's a really sweet show. And it's about the small triumphs in life, and Creek is a lot like that too, where just really unfortunate circumstance and predicament, but like it's the little victories that are so relatable, and I'll keep coming back to those because the stakes are always raised in movies, and I really like movies. I still love indie films, I really do, and I really did enjoy this movie. So my 2 favorite things are leaning into the characters' relationships to each other. I really like that. I like Thomas's weird parents, Thomas Mann, I should say, Greg's weird parents, Greg's dad, Nick Offerman's really weird, his obsession over his cat, and Greg's
strange
mom.
Food. Reminds me of the mom for Better Off Dead.
Yeah. A weird home life where you're like, I don't know if he's overly loved at home or smothered, or he's not quite properly
like acknowledged.
Loved at all, yeah. They're kind of like, he could be suffering from clinical depression and they wouldn't be the wiser. So, but one thing that did make me laugh was Denise's character, Rachel's mom, the dying girl. I was like, I would want to die of cancer if I had that mom too. She's like making out with Greg when he comes over to say hi the first time. I was like, oh my goodness. It's a cougar. Although, is that what or is that just mama? I think a cougar means that's an attractive mother.
No, well, no.
She scares
well,
me.
No,
That
a
actress
cougar is
so
an older
funny.
woman going for younger men, so yes.
Going for young men. Yeah, exactly. I just thought that it meant it was like a two-way street where it's like she's the oh wait, I'm thinking of never mind.
Yeah.
There you go. See, I'm learning on the pod. Okay, so cougar definitely like very cougar vibes, and made me laugh because she's like, oh, you're so.
But that's why I
funny,
think that's why I think it's
you're
such a
so
good
sweet.
contrast to you see
Yeah.
why she's such a closed off kind of like girl as well. Is like why she's so
Yeah, you have a
different
weird
from her
mother.
mom because she like sees that probably in her mom and is like that's nothing, and also she probably relates it to that's why maybe dad left us.
Right.
Oh wait, you were talking about this movie. I thought you were saying like in real life. I'm like, when did Dad leave you?
No.
Oh my gosh, Jordan.
Although I
He
will
left
say,
us. He left us.
I find it really interesting that the mom is in such a terrible condition, and it makes me wonder if she was because she does have that scene where she's like, Greg, like I was a really good mom to her. Like I was a really, really like when she's drunk and like doing that one interview. I feel like she's drunk the whole time, but like when Greg has her sitting down in the kitchen. And
Most
they're all
people let their
sitting behind
kid.
the
Yeah,
sheet.
most people let their kid grow up too fast. I was really good about not letting her grow up too
Well,
fast.
and you already catch her in a situation of crisis. Like at the point that we meet Denise's Denise, like
Right.
her daughter's
The news is-
already so you know.
Yeah. It's
And so
fair
it makes
to
me
chalk
wonder
that
what
up.
kind
Right,
of
and we
mom
don't
she
see her
was
before.
before. Yeah.
And it makes you wonder too. Like I actually, after watching this movie, I actually posed the question for the first time. I was just like, I asked my wife. I was just like, if you knew you were gonna die, and I just did an example. I was like, what if you were gonna die in a year? Like, what would you change in your life? Like right now, is there something you would do? Like take out a loan, we go on a trip somewhere. Would we sell the possession? Like what would we do, right? And then I was like, well, how about 6 months? Like 3 to 6 months. What's that answer? And I'm like, what about like a week? And it was just like a weird thought process. I don't know if you guys have ever posed that question because, life is fleeting. All of us on this podcast are going to be dead someday, and Cameron will go first, and I'll make sure of it. And we'll all die. And it's a weird thing because like this movie does make me confront mortality. And every day I look at it, I sell insurance. I'm talking to old people all the time. I get phone calls from my clients' family because they died. And I deal with death all the time, so I'm kind of calloused at this point. But I'm like, yeah, it's just a part of life. We all go someday. I don't know. Did you guys think differently about this movie or mortality at all? Like that's obviously what the movie was posing to me. It's all about mortality. Movies like Me Before You is another good example. Like these whole, there's like an obsession with Gen Zs right now, with like
Death.
being a high schooler and thinking about death. And like maybe it has existed before, but it was always about drugs and rock and roll.
From what movies? There's Me, Earl, and the Dying Girl. What else?
So it's kind of a funny story.
13 Reasons Why.
Sing Street, Edge of 17.
That is not like a funny take on it. It's fetching depression. It's like
Isn't Perks of a Wallflower pretty much the same thing too? I've never seen that movie, but I just remember thinking it. It's not at all like that.
It's exactly the same.
Exactly the
How
same.
have you never seen Perks of Being a Wallflower?
Because I have to be forced into watching it for a podcast.
Oh. Okay.
I'm kidding.
Maybe
I'm
write
sure
that
it's
down.
great. I have the movie. I know. But anyway, that's what it makes me think
You
of.
have the movie,
and I
Ty,
think
really?
of those kinds of movies. I actually own it, and I have not seen it. Actually, it's one of my wife's movies, so I haven't seen it. But
I own it too, Ty, and I've started it, and I'm like,
and I know I'll like it. I mean, it's Emma Watson not as
gosh.
Hermione Granger. What a joy!
I really wanted to be friends with you guys. I did.
I actually do like coming of age movies. Like I will say, Edge of 17 with Haley.
Super Dark Times.
I
I didn't really like that one.
No, I didn't like Super Dark Times. You didn't like Edge of 17? Oh, so good.
I
So
watched
good.
it recently.
Okay, how about Kings of Summer? Did you see Kings of Summer?
ooh, I need to see that one. Don't spoil it.
Summer.
Oh my gosh, you haven't seen Kings of Summer? That is such a good movie.
I'm
Jordan.
so
And
excited
it's
to watch
funny.
it. Well, I'm waiting for it to go on the $5
So-
bin.
you need to watch King of Summer. It's on.
waiting for
It was
it to
on
go on
Netflix
the
or Amazon
$5
Prime. I
bin.
told you to watch it. It's
No,
on
I have to
Prime.
own it. Sorry.
You can watch it on
so
Prime. I know you have Prime. Go on to Prime and watch it. Anyway, Kings of Summer, highly recommend it. Not as much suicide. It's actually a lighter hearted film, but they do talk about mortality, right? It's like I'm growing older. It's kind of like the Neverland thing. It's like Peter Pan, right? Like
Peter Pan about death?
No. It's about not growing up. Like all these
Yeah.
coming of age movies are dealing with mortality and growing up and getting responsibilities and getting boring in life. So I was just curious, like, did you guys think differently or have any new takes on life and mortality?
Well, I
or
kinda
anything
I
after
just
watching this?
watching it just made me want to make movies again because like I was thinking of us in
Right.
high school making
Oh
videos
yeah,
I was just thinking about what I want to do with my life. So yeah, I guess in a way, yeah.
Yeah, you're like, oh my gosh, like we have so many movies in the back of my mind I have to start making now, you know?
Yeah.
Well, we've already made so many,
sure.
and like videos and stuff like that made me think of it as well. And like the Chin Channel videos and all that stuff.
And the future studios that we're starting.
Super Kid.
And the Mormon capturing, that was good too.
Everybody listen to this podcast is riveted. None of this means anything. These are all films that we made growing up in high school. Cameron, you were like, what, 5 years old? Starring as Super Kid? You like needed a juice box break in between takes. That's great, you know? Like, great. Like, it's so great.
I would get you to say like one line and then you'd be like, I'm done. So come back and get it
Cameron
later.
would be like, I'm done. I don't want to be a star anymore. We're like, you have to because your voice is going to change and you're going to grow up. And then we have to run away to Neverland.
No, well, we recorded over the course of what like 3 years. So
Probably.
you like kept getting older and older. It was funny.
And I'm growing like
Yep.
3 inches per seed.
We also had my good childhood Mexican friend play as Grant, older. Never mind that he's like a different race. It was great. See, we're not racist. We see past.
Oh, I know.
Brilliant. Super woke. We had Grant as a kid and then grew up as a Mexican. It was awesome. And we're like, just so you know, this is his character grown up now. It's like, oh. And then we went back in time. And anytime Jordan made a cut, we had the home video camera. So you had to rewind and pause it and then play over it again and record over it. Oh my gosh.
They really
so
should.
Funny.
Man, I would love to make some movies about like people in the past and then like switch out the characters from like black, all of a sudden he's white like years later, and it's like, how did that happen?
Yeah, it's like we don't need to explain it. We just look past race, everybody. I'm all for that, dude. Seriously,
I am too.
Like Hamilton.
I'm
like,
hoping we
dude,
get
how
there.
all the founding fathers is black. That's awesome. What a cool story. Like, I totally tune into that. Cameron, you loved Hamilton, didn't
That
you?
was garbage.
Hey, you bigot! You loved it. And you also loved what was it called? Rent.
You loved it.
You loved it.
Rent?
Anyway, yeah, Rent, or what was it called? Was it
Into
called
the
Rent?
Heights? That was trash.
In the Heights.
That was
or Into the Heights.
garbage.
Rent? This is a monopoly.
Rent's another musical.
Yeah, it's
about
another musical.
AIDS. I don't know. It's about AIDS.
Anyway,
it's one of those folks.
Me, Earl, and the Dying Girl.
Yeah, back to this movie. So, yeah, I just was curious if you guys had, like, if you had a quintessential movie that you saw at the perfect stage in life, how does that change your viewing experience? Because, like, for me as an older person, watching movies about high school is kind of weird because I'm always like, either my high school experience was that or it's not like that. So, I don't know. Do you guys, we're all out of high school now. Do you guys, when did you, because you saw this in theater, Brighton. This came out in 2015.
Yeah.
What does that make? You don't have to tell your age on the pod.
I was a sophomore.
Expose yourself.
Oh, you were sophomore in high school,
Yeah.
Oh,
right?
perfect
so
time.
You're watching this, yeah. And Cameron, when did you see it? Were you still in high school? when
I
you saw
think I
this?
was a senior in high school.
Senior. And it kind of, I don't know. So you guys in that generation.
It's at the exact position that he's in, and that's the only reason. It's just because I was like, my goal was like the same thing. I'm not trying to have any mortal enemies, so I like never would like interact too long with a lot of groups. Like a lot of guys in football, I just wouldn't interact with too long because I'm like, the more I speak, the like the higher chance of one of them becoming my mortal enemies, and the locker room would be. And one of them would turn to ill Phil. I'll bend you to my will.
Quit rhyming and fight me.
I can't do this if you keep
rapping the whole time. Yeah.
Yeah, he was great. What a character. Do you guys have any, or have we gone around two favorite from Jordan?
Thank you very much. So obviously all the films that were remade is like Clockwork Orange, Sockwork Orange, just like the 400 blows as the 400, I don't remember what they changed it to, but there's just like all these famous classic films that they remade. And I thought it just put such a smile on my face. I hope they put those out on YouTube. I need to look those up because they're great. They make me smile. I love the quirkiness of it. It's so fun. Like it's just very quick paced and then it just jumps around it just has the feel of a really fun, quirky indie film.
Your cat is clawing my insides. She's distressed. It's a very distressing time for her. Let's get into quotes. Do you guys have any quotes from this movie?
Oh yeah, there's so many fetching good quotes.
Knock him out of the park.
I
Cameron.
love it when he's like, one last thing, hot girls will destroy your life. That's just a fact. And like the constant image of just the moose just smushing the mouse
the
or
squirrel.
chipmunk, the squirrel. Just and I love when he just goes off on her and he's just like, do you know what it's like when a really pretty girl like you touches a little scrawny, pale, like rat-faced kid like me? He's like, it's active cruelty. And then, I love the, Tess, I've been there. Just the instant put your foot in your mouth, like trying to relate And then he's just like, you have no idea what you're talking about. And I love how was your summer? Summer? What does that word even mean, right? More some. Winter, same deal. More wind. Like, he just says the same thing to, like, everybody. Just, like, very mediocre, like, just very, like, middle ground. Try not to, like, offend anybody or just...
And I love that he accidentally starts getting in fights with everybody. It's so great. It's
Yeah.
so great.
And that's how I like too. I just felt like a lot of the things too. I loved how the fights were realistic. I love in like a lot of high school movies, like, and I love the portrayal of high school. I love how like everyone's like dribbling basketballs and like on top of tables. It looks like a jungle in there, and because it's like the portrayal of how like you might feel in high school versus like what it actually is like. Because obviously people aren't like in pom poms and cheering in the cafeteria, but it kind of feels like so.
Maybe not in your high school, Cameron.
Were people cheering with pom-poms and dribbling basketballs in your cafeteria, Jordan, at Wanakee?
I don't know, maybe.
Maybe? Did you not go to high school?
I hid in the library, remember?
Oh my gosh. And then I thought it was like, it's so sad, but I loved how, for me, the quote when he says, oh, he's like, if you're worried about her dying, she's not going to die. And then the end when he's like, I know I told you she wasn't going to die, but I didn't think that she actually was going to. I feel like that's just like, so realistic. I feel like, especially with people in those situations, you're just like, oh, they're going to get better. And that's why he told you. It's like, because you always think, you're like, oh, they're going to get better, even until like that denial up until even the last moment of when it actually happens. You're like, no, but they're going to get better. They're going to get better. And as soon as it happens, you're like, oh my gosh. And that's why I felt like they did a really good job of putting you viewer like through that experience in like a short span to where you almost felt like you were kind of going through that with her. Because as if you were a loved one of hers and you're like, oh, she's going to get better. He said she's going to get better. Just like the doctors were like, oh, we're doing everything we can to help her get better. You're like, oh, the doctor said that they're doing everything they can. She's going to get better.
Cameron, Jordan, and Brighton and I have made a podcast so bad it literally killed someone. I thought it was fun intro talking about how to start a movie. I did that really, really clearly because it kind of reminded me of Love and Monsters a little bit. I don't know if you guys have seen that movie. The self-depreciating, kind of like Hiccup's character in How to Train Your Dragon, but then again, it's hard to nail him down.
Are you saying you guys, you're just referring to Brighton, right? Because
yeah, have you guys remember
it.
the one we did on the podcast, Todd? Have you guys seen that? Have you guys seen that movie?
Have you guys seen this movie? I don't know, because we did it on the podcast. Are you talking about Brighton, right?
Seen it.
Wait, which one are we talking
Love
about?
and Monsters.
Love and Monsters?
Have you guys seen this?
Have you guys seen that?
Have you guys seen... I don't know if you guys seen it.
Yeah, we reviewed it on the pod, didn't we?
Maybe he's talking about me.
Yeah, you must be talking about Brighton.
Maybe specifically
You girl.
talking about you, Brighton.
Have you seen it,
Yeah,
Brighton? It's
have
good.
you seen? Yeah,
I haven't.
So, maybe I'm talking to the listeners. I'm talking to the royal you guys. The royal you. All you listeners.
General
out there.
you.
The general you.
The y'alls.
The y'alls out there. The Latinx people.
Stop.
Latinx. I love that title. I'm sure they love it too.
Not according to Kevin.
I know. But hey, that's just anecdotal. We white liberals know what's in their best interest. Take it from me. So, I just wanted to ask one last time, do you guys think that it romanticizes getting a terminal illness in any way? I know that sounds a really weird question to ask. Like, everyone's like, in the back of their mind, like, I wish I could be the kid with cancer at my school, because then people would notice me or something. I don't know. That sounds so, it's a stupid question, but I was just curious.
I think it's always an interesting, like, I think it's kind of the what do you call it? I think the only reason that people would desire that, it's kind of like It's a Wonderful Life, where it's like you want to feel like you made a difference. You want to know how much of a difference you've made, so you'd want to know what it was like with people without you. And it's kind of like, if I were to die, who actually cares about me? But I think they did a really good job of showing kind of how sad and hard it really was. Like, he talked about, like, there's lots of days where she just wouldn't talk, and like, and you kind of see it's not like there's and every time he goes over, it's not like there's like tons of people being like, oh, get better soon. Like, literally, like, Greg was the only one ever over there. Sometimes Earl was over there. But, like, it was literally just them two. And it was never, like, a group of people. Sometimes people would say, oh, you should do this for her. But it was never, like, a group being like, oh, yeah, we should do this. Like, and, like, go out of our way to help her.
Does anyone have, to recommend this movie? Would you guys recommend?
100% yes.
Absolutely.
Me and Earl and the Dying Girl. I do recommend this movie, and other movies like it. Recommend Kings of Summer as well, and it's kind of a funny story and atypical on Netflix. Don't recommend paying money to Netflix because they're a terrible
Ty has to
company.
mention this every single week and then explain the exact
Never
same
forget,
thing.
people. Never for guys.
I will
if you
mooch, but
guys
they'll
just
never get
learn
my
one
money.
thing, if you guys remember one thing from this podcast, just remember, Jeffrey Epstein didn't kill himself. Eyes Wide Butt was another one.
Eyes Wide
but it's like Eyes
Butt.
Wide. Yeah.
Oh,
that
that's
was the other
what it
movie.
was.
I wrote that in my notes.
Yeah, I
But thought
definitely
that
did
was
too.
really funny.
I actually wrote down a lot of quotes. I don't want to move on from the quote question because I did write down a lot of quotes because every single time, not every single, but the other 2 times I've been on this podcast, you've been like, and we're here with Brighton. And I never have a quote because I never write them down. I'm always like, hello. So I wrote down a few. I like right when he accidentally tells that one popular girl that Rachel has cancer and he's like, I'm like innovatively stupid. That's funny. Like, I like genuinely laughed at that. Another one, when they're in the movie place or whatever, he's like, I'm terminally awkward and have the face of a groundhog. Like, and now that I'm reading it, I'm pulling a lot of quotes in which he is terrible to himself. But I just think, I don't know. It's like really tragic how relatable I think that is to a lot more people than I think anyone realizes. But then another quote that I loved is, it's Vietnamese, it's called pho, it's phenomenal. That's like,
Yeah, I love that.
come on! I'm in a
phenomenal.
huge pho phase and I love pho and I just like that it was pho. I don't know. I feel like...
Yeah, Cameron says it every time on the podcast. He says, what the fuck am I watching? So.
No, I mean like the Vietnamese soup. It's delicious.
I know. In fact, I've seen stores that say pho so good or so, like it's hilarious. Like they lean into that. Yeah.
They definitely do. Can I make a plug? There's a place in Orem on State Street. It's called the Pho King. And his name is Larry and he's from China and he knew exactly what he was doing. He's the funniest guy I've ever met and I love his pho. Anyways,
You heard it here first, guys. Check out the pho.
Well,
It's
there's another
tasty.
store called Sofa and then Kingdom.
That's funny.
The Sofa Kingdom. That's great. That's brilliant.
Anyways, I just like how relatable and just like I feel like that's kind of why I love it so much. Like, yes, it is just another story about a girl who gets cancer and ruins everyone's lives that she's in contact with, but at the same time, it's like, you know, it's like good because of how like much you get connected to her and all of the people surrounding her, like Earl and Greg and Denise, like all of these people. That one goth kid that like I don't remember his name is, but like you just love all of them and you feel like they're your friends by the time you finish watching the movie. And I feel like that's so cliche to say, but I mean it because I watch it and I'm like, yep, those are my friends, and then I watch it again because I want to see my friends again.
I love too, kind of going back on what I said about earlier with like the Earl's emotional intelligence being masked. I love it because his character introduction, he like only says like, and then it's like his first line as a kid, he's like, "You want to fight? Didn't think so, punk a cat." Like he just seems like I don't know, just such a like a I don't know, basic high schooler, but then like I don't know, I feel like he had very high emotional IQ.
He's got layers. Oh, that which reminds me of another good one, Breakfast
Shrek?
Club. Is that what it's called?
Yes, that is what it's
Oh
called.
yeah. As far as you mean like high school coming of age movies, yes. Yeah.
Also really
Breakfast
great.
Club.
It's just like high schoolers that have layers and depth to them that are not just...
I also like Heathers, but I know that's not really, really the coming of age. It's kind of the anti-coming of age movie.
I
kinda.
love when she's like,
It's like Mean Girls meets.
I love it because he literally explains to her, he's like, yeah, anytime someone's being like uncomfortable or like talking weird to you, you can just like spaz out and act like you're dying. And then he's like, and then that was right after Hugh Jackman Wolverine's like, I've been on her wall for 13 years. She probably doesn't take me down out of this weird loyalty that she has. But she's like, last thing I'm gonna let you do is ruin it. And he's like, I'm so sorry for talking about dying when like you have like cancer and everything. And it's just like a super awkward situation that you want to get out of. And she's like, and he's like,
Oh.
that's exactly what I'm talking about.
I thought you were quoting Heathers when the girl's choking on bleach and she's like, and she throws it, falls down and dies.
Yeah, no, back and forth. Yeah, we're talking about so many movies. I don't know how the audience can keep up. So, we end every podcast by sharing movies that we love, that we've seen lately and movies that we're looking forward to seeing. Brighton, why don't you start us off? Is there any movies that you've seen lately?
I mean, I just watched the James Bond movie.
Yeah, what'd you think?
Incredible.
Oh, yeah?
Every way.
Why don't you rank all the Daniel Craig James Bond movies? There's 5 of them.
I
Casino
don't know.
Royale,
I
Quantum of
literally-
Solace, Skyfall, Spectre, No Time to Die.
Casino Royale.
I said that, right? Casino Royale, Quantum of Solace. I said Casino.
I mean,
I said Casino.
I don't know
What
if
do
I
you
can
think?
accurately rank them all. Like, I watched
Rank
them
them
all
right now
like,
on the
as
podcast.
a child with my dad watching them in the living room. I like walk in every now and again. I'm like, oh my gosh, I think that's James Bond. But I could rank them all by song that I like. I really like No Time to Die. That was a great song. Skyfall, Adele killed that. Whatever one
Skyfall.
Sam Smith sang. Incredible.
To be honest, Skyfall's the only one I remember. I don't know any of the other ones.
Oh my
I think Billie
gosh.
Eilish did this one though, right?
She did.
I know who sings them. Was it Weeknd that did the last, or who was the?
Sam Smith.
All I know,
Sam
all I know
Smith.
is he was gay. Yeah, the gay guy.
The
Right? Yeah.
Weeknd.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? I thought it was the Weeknd.
That would have been great if he did the last one.
Yeah, he's a great singer.
He did not do
I
the
just-
last
I
one.
don't think I don't know. It's not exactly his vibe.
I just knew it was a gay black guy. I don't know which gay black guy
Sam
it
Smith
was.
is
Sam
not
Smith
black.
isn't black.
He's definitely white.
And I'm pretty sure.
I don't know people's
The
races.
Weeknd's
Weeknd
not
is probably
gay, is he?
straight. The Weeknd is not
Actually,
gay.
Blinding Lights
Yeah,
is
I
my
didn't
favorite
think
song
so.
right now. So I'm
Yeah,
just
The
saying
Weeknd's
anyone
definitely
could
straight.
make a song like Weeknd. Yeah.
Didn't
Wait,
he-
Weeknd's not straight. He's gay.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
is.
no, he's playing an actor.
Yeah, what the fudge? And have you listened to any of his music?
He's dated like the most beautiful women in alive.
But then again, Elton John was misleading. but
Who's the
still.
one that does I Can't Feel My Face? Is that the Weeknd?
That's
Yeah,
the
that guy's
Weeknd.
definitely
He's dated
gay.
like Bella Hadid, Selena Gomez, like the most beautiful
definitely
people to
gay.
ever walk.
Definitely a homo.
I don't know.
You guys are blowing my mind right now. Is the Weeknd gay?
Well, I am gay. Little bow type shout out.
Weekends.
Yeah, careful what you're searching for.
Anyway,
All tags.
Brighton, what else have you seen?
I watched.
There's a whole Reddit, guys, about this. So I'm not the only one that thought he was a homo. Just saying.
Anyway.
It's crazy.
Anyway, I watched the first few
Guys,
episodes.
real quick, I'm
Oh
sorry
my
to cut
gosh,
you off.
let Brighton speak.
39% of voters think that the Weeknd is gay. 35 voted straight, and 26 think that he's bi. Guys, I'm just saying there's a whole poll about this. That's why I was complaining. I was pretty certain he was the gay. So which one is the gay guy? The Sam Mendes or who is it?
Sam
Who's the-
Mendes? Sam Smith?
Sam Smith.
Never disrespect
Sam
Shawn
Smith.
Mendes like that ever again or I'll hurt you.
Shawn Mendes.
Oh,
Oh, wait,
Cameron
which
does
one
feel
does he
really
do?
strongly about Shawn Mendes.
Which one does he? He does that one song, right? The Kill Myself or something. No, I can't remember the lyric. What is it? It's like a love song. All of them sound like I want to kill myself or be with me. What is it? Which one is it?
Stitches. I know what you're talking about.
Stitches. Yeah, Stitches. Kill myself. Cutting.
He's not
veins,
talking about cut-
stitches. Oh, is that not what he's singing
No,
about?
he's talking about
I'll be
how
needing
she
stitches?
left him with
So he
needing
needs stitches.
He's
Okay,
not saying
well,
it's self-inflicted wound.
So did she cut him?
It's
Did she
not
cut him, or did he cut himself as a result
self-inflicted wound.
of her leaving her?
I don't think
Did
it's
he
about
cut himself
self-harm.
as a result? I think it's self-harm. I don't think she literally cut him, or it's figurative, right? Is he saying like figuratively? I feel like I need stitches.
Regardless,
Yeah.
he's not talking about cutting himself.
Is Shawn Mendes gay?
There is
see if there's a Reddit
speculation about
that.
this.
No
Have you seen that one video where he's like,
Cameron's
it's
like,
giving?
so I have a
Yeah,
chat.
that's-
giving
I'm saying, I'm
Cher.
like, if
No,
he gay,
when he's
I'm
literally
gay.
talking to Camila Cabello, and he's like, it's giving me Cher. Like, have you seen the video? It's on Twitter. I don't know.
I have not.
I'll email it to you guys later.
Oh man! Now, if you keep looking, I look at Entertainment Lifestyle, and The Weeknd got called out for homophobic lyrics. Oh no! But if he's gay, he can say whatever he wants, right? At least toward that marginalized community, right? Isn't that interesting? If you're part of a marginalized community, you can say whatever you want about that marginalized community. But if you're not part of it, the marginalized community, you can't say it.
Ty,
Isn't that
then
weird?
that's what you just need to do. Just be like,
I make fun of white people all the time.
Ty, you just need to identify as a gay black man, and you can say whatever you want.
Yes, there you go. No,
A gay black
unfortunately-
woman.
well,
There you go.
Ooh, that's even better. Unfortunately, you can't identify as any other race, but you can internalize white supremacy, is it white privilege? I
Anyway,
just found out Dave
Brighton, what else
Chappelle
have you
has
seen?
white privilege, guys.
Brighton, what else have you
This
seen?
just in,
Please.
Dave
Oh,
Chappelle,
brother.
black comedian, has white privilege. I didn't know this. Look it up.
Anyway,
You can find anything on the internet. It's amazing.
I recently
I
watched
found my
it.
people.
Ty, please.
I recently watched Attack on Titan.
Attack on Titan.
Oh,
Wait,
did
is
Cameron
that the
tell you
cartoon?
his friend forced him to watch it?
No,
Wait, is that the anime?
Cousin.
it is anime.
No.
It is
I've
not
heard
a
of that.
situation in which I was like, oh my gosh, I am going to watch Attack on Titan. It just fell
Happened.
into my lap.
It just sort of happened.
Yeah. Great storytelling devices, though. I'm not against it.
Death Note's way better.
Maybe I just outed myself as
Have
an
you,
anime person, but
Have you watched
Right.
any animes
Watch-
before?
Watch
Brighton?
Death
Do
Note.
you watch
It
any
will
anime?
change your life.
I haven't seen any other animes. Avatar, Last Airbender. Does that count?
No other
Ponyo?
movies or anything?
Does that count?
Yeah.
Spirited
See,
Away?
Ponyo's so good.
Well, there you go. See, now you're naming all of the ones I've seen and more. I've seen Princess Mononoke, Spirited Away, and
Mononoke.
Death Note. Those are the three, and I watched a few. One
Death
Punch
Note's
Man.
amazing.
So, do you liked this? What was it called?
If you like
Titan
Attack
or
on
whatever?
Titan, Brighton, you'll love Death Note. Death Note's better.
I'll write it down. I mean, I don't know if I really want to like turn into an anime person, but like I'm
No,
not
no, no,
against
but,
it.
okay,
Like, if
it's-
Whoa,
good
whoa,
stuff.
yeah, Brighton, don't shame. Oh wait, no, that's not it. Excuse me.
And-
Don't culture shame.
And listen to...
I feel super. I
Curveballs
think
out of
every,
left and right.
No, I'm just saying, people that watch anime, I remember walking in on my roommate and he's got like this, you may want to edit this out. He's got all this like Japanese cartoon women on his thing and I'm just like, oh, like, I'm sorry, do you need a minute? And he's like, oh no, come on in. And he's like, totally fine with this
You're
on
like-
his computer.
Ty
I'm
did
like,
show you his
what
video
the
he's working
fuck?
on. He's like, I'm making this anime video, and all he did was splice in all these anime videos, and I'm like, what am I watching? And he's like, oh, this is the best part, and I'm like, no.
wait, the best part's coming out. Oh.
Yeah, none of that in Attack on Titan. None of that.
Yeah. So, okay, none of that. Okay, that's a relief. Again, see, that's my.
I mean, there are the naked giants, which is a little weird.
Yeah.
Oh, there
yeah.
are? Perfect. So there is that element. See, I'd be watching this and I'd be like,
Yeah, but it's not
what are you
necessarily
watching?
something-
You're like,
Green
I
Knight
love
all over
its
again,
art.
Cameron.
It's beautiful. Don't judge me, okay?
There's...
Get out of my room.
Are you speaking from experience, Ty? Let me know.
Yeah, this roommate, this fictional roommate, it's me. I compartmentalize the story through millions of dollars of therapy.
You projecting?
Rigorous therapy. I'm projecting, yes. I openly share all the animes because I don't think I like them, but I want to get into it, just like you, Brighton. I want to like them. I hear
Yep.
that they're great. I didn't understand Spirited Away. It blew my mind.
I feel like they tell really good stories, and I feel like,
Yeah.
I don't know, sometimes it's pretty to watch.
I just have to be told, like, I have to have, like, an hour-long video essay explaining why I should like it and what it means. Then I do like it a little bit more.
Oh, the other one Ty you watched was Akira. I knew you watched something else.
Thank you. See, I knew that was a good film. In fact, if it wasn't for Akira, we wouldn't have had Stranger Things. We wouldn't have had The Institute from Stephen King. Like, Akira inspired all that telekinetic obsession. All came from Akira. So thank you for that, Akira.
Anything else you seen, Brighton?
I don't think so.
Looking forward to anything?
Looking forward to?
Looking forward to seeing anything.
Dune, maybe, perhaps?
Dude, it's in my calendar. I'm going on $5 Tuesday, a week from today.
Oh, I'm going this
Oh, you're not
weekend.
ready to give Denny Villeneuve more of your money? What's wrong?
Literally,
with you?
no.
I don't think he gets the money. But
No, $5. Do $5.
$5
just help
and that's
help the
it.
box office out. Get
I don't know if the
theaters back
box
up and
office
going.
needs help. I don't know.
This is
$5
this
Tuesday
might
is
be
good.
the first movie I go on non-$5 Tuesday in a long time.
Yes. Since Black Widow, which was a big mistake. So, because it made me resent the movie and the Marvel and the MCU.
Well,
so,
that was your problem. Because that's why when I watch a movie like Venom and I'm like, I paid $5.99 for that. I don't feel as bad.
Yeah.
Kevin's like, I don't feel the money flee out of my wallet.
Yeah, but
as
when,
much
but,
as I
but when
do.
it's like $17 in total, and I'm like, oh, and it wasn't an
That's a
amazing
little
movie.
steep.
I'm like, goodness.
Could have waited 2 months and owned it.
Or waited
It
till
could
I
have been in
owned
the
it.
$5 bin.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, Venom 2 will probably be in the $5 bin.
Oh, it will.
Tomorrow.
The moment it's off
My
theaters, it's going to be in the $5 bin.
I still want to see it, even though I know it's all the things. I loved the first one. I really did. Venom 1 was monumentally enjoying. And
Is Ty going to quote his favorite line from it?
what's my favorite line? Incredible.
Yeah.
Incredible. Oh my gosh, dude. Riz Ahmed was so good. So good. So,
The other one we
I also
recommend is Last Night in Soho. If you like Edgar Wright, like Scott Pilgrim vs.
Wait.
the World.
Did you see it, Jordan?
Oh,
Is it
yeah.
out yet?
No, it comes
When
out at
does
the
it
end of
come?
this month.
The end of this month, right? Yeah.
Last night in
Yeah.
Soho.
Yeah. Edgar
Check
Wright,
it out.
a horror movie coming out. Looks interesting. Oh, another trailer for Batman movie came
Yes.
out. Saw the trailer.
Drew
I
texted
still
me,
am
he's like, the Batman
excited.
trailer looks dope.
Yeah, it looks good. I didn't like it as much as the
first trailer,
Well, because
yeah.
the first trailer is literally
was cut
perfect.
so well. It is literally a perfect
Yeah,
teaser.
it is the perfect trailer.
We need to do
this
a
guy's
list of
great.
our favorite teasers and trailers, Jordan, on this podcast.
Well, are we doing
So
that
just gonna-
first, or are we going to actors? I thought we were doing
Actors.
Oh, I don't
Actors.
care. So we should do a list.
Actors.
Though.
Actors.
Every 50 episodes, we should do a list of some kind.
Actors.
But we should do trailers sometime and just talk
Yes,
about our
that'll be
favorite
good.
trailers.
After
Predators is up there. That trailer's better than the movie.
Predators. Oh yeah, well, it's not just trailers better than the movie, but I would love to talk about just good trailers,
I know,
like our
I know,
teasers.
I know.
I already have
Because I have
mine
on my watch
listed.
list. I'll go back and watch Mad Max teaser.
Comic-Con trailer. You have to go watch the Comic-Con.
Yeah, or I don't know which one it is.
You have
but
to
it's the one
specify. Make sure you look it up.
The Logan one, both the trailer and the teaser. Logan was one of the coolest trailers. Playing Johnny Cash hurt. Unbelievable. It's unbelievable. It's a perfectly cut trailer. Anyway, so real quick, Cameron, do you see any movies lately, or movies that you're looking for, or that you're looking for?
No, just the ones for the pod, and I also watched Ex Machina.
Oh,
my
what?
gosh, what did you think, dude?
So you guys set my expectations a little high. You guys were like, oh, if you guys liked her, like I've really enjoyed
Black Mirror much?
Oh,
What are you
no,
talking about? You set your
love-
expectations high. It's a perfect movie. What's wrong with you?
I really, really enjoyed it. Gave it 8 out of 10. But I went in with the expectations of it was about to be her level. But it still was amazing, and I did love the whole like concept and like what is human. And dude, holy cow, the performance by everybody was just ridiculous. Like
Yes.
Donald Gleason. Oh my gosh.
And Oscar
They're all
Isaac
giving
are
it 10.
two of my
Oscar
favorite.
Isaac makes
yeah.
you so uncomfortable. Like, oh, especially when he's like,
Brilliant.
How about that dance scene, Cameron? Just those hip thrusts.
yeah, dude. That is like billionaire creepy vibes. I love it.
Yes.
I loved it because they just made him seem just so out of tune with like society and real life. You're just like, homies. Ooh.
Dude, A24 produces some crazy movies.
Yeah, they're so
some many
freaking
ones.
good. And then they make crap like The Green Knight, and then I'm like, I hate you guys. But then they give you like 3 masterpieces for every like 1 crappy film, so that's a great ratio for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's those small indie films, man. They get you. They're kind of hit and miss. But Green Knight wasn't even a indie film. It had a big budget, didn't it? Yeah.
But yeah, and then just
Swing and a miss.
after watching Ex Machina, a movie that got recommended to me that like is kind of I guess similar and weird, or like I don't know, Birdman. I really want to watch with Michael Keaton and Zach Galifianakis.
Yeah, I want to see Birdman again. I should see that movie again.
Because I've
for
heard
sure.
I've heard really good, because like a lot of the movies that I like, because I was watching this thing and it was like, if you like these movies, watch this movie, and it was like it was like 8 movies that I love that I think are all in my top 100, and then like 2 of them were like Birdman, and then another one was like either Leon the Professional, or it was like Inside Llewyn Davis, one of the 2, which I've already seen with Leon the Professional, but I need to rewatch
Leon
it.
the Professional is probably one of the top action movies.
The only scene I
all
remember
time.
from that movie is just what's her name, Padme, with her pot. That's like her little plant.
Padme.
With her little plant.
You're talking about Natalie Portman? Yeah. Padme? Isn't that crazy when you have like a character that's so synonymous with her role? I mean, she's obviously had a successful career beyond Star Wars, but it's just funny to hear you say Padme.
Yeah.
Natalie Portman, yeah. I think that's funny that you say that because, so movies that I've seen, or Cameron, are you looking forward to anything?
I mean, just kind of the same things that you guys are. I'm super excited to watch.
Yeah, Dune this
I'm probably
weekend.
gonna watch Dune
this weekend.
on Friday, and then next Tuesday I might try to go see James Bond for $5 Tuesday before the pod or after.
Fun. So I watched The Guilty with Jake Gyllenhaal, where he works in a call center and
Ooh,
gets a
thoughts?
stressful
Because
phone
I
call.
saw
watched the
that as
foreign
well.
version, haven't seen the American version yet. Thoughts?
I want to see the foreign
Foreign's
film.
amazing.
And I think I started with the American because I think I'm going to like the foreign one better. So I started
What'd you
low,
think, though?
and I'm hoping to head to high. I like Jake Gyllenhaal. I think he's a great actor. Sometimes I kind of wish that they did 1 or 2 things with this movie. Like, it's all shot in one location. I guess I kind of wish I preferred to know that before going in. But I think I kind of knew after a while. I'm like, oh, we're not leaving this
That did
setting.
surprise me a
Like, it's
little
all
how we
takes
didn't
place.
see anything outside of his call, but I felt like it put us in
Right.
his shoes, and like it shows how like unable to help he really is. Like, and that's what I
Right.
thought was really cool.
The only other thing I was thinking is it possible that you could move someone in a job and make him less effective than if he wasn't there at all? like again, he was doing his job and he was going above and beyond. But I remember thinking like, yeah, it's a little unnerving when you have someone that's so reckless and so filled with rage.
Dude, he's such
he doesn't belong at a desk job.
He just
yeah,
plays
yeah.
such. Oh, he's such a good like angry crazy person, dude.
Cameron's just like, oh, my love is just
Yeah,
overflowing.
Cameron, take it easy, all right? But get some drool on the side of your mouth.
There's a
there.
reason he's the best actor in the world. Change my mind, dude.
Best actor in the world. I don't know. I would argue Gary Oldman.
Oh, Ty's just giving you a taste.
I don't know if Leo would give you a run for his money, or maybe even Jonah Hill.
See,
I don't know.
Leo's my number 3 behind
Brad Pitt. Ooh, Brad
Pitt's
Pitt.
number 2 for me. So you can't beat that. You can't beat my trio. Brad Pitt, Leo, Jake Gyllenhaal. Come on.
Gary Oldman, dude. I'm sorry. I think he would take on...
Interesting.
I don't know. Is anyone going to give love to Jack Nicholson? I love Jack Nicholson.
What about The Rock, guys?
Or, Ty, how
The
about
Rock
your
has put out
favorite
a lot of
actress?
really good
I talked about this
performances.
last episode. We want to talk about Range Brighton.
Oh,
He's the same guy in every single film. I'm sorry. He could be the Scorpion King, or he could be a helicopter pilot. He's The Rock.
Ty, I already know who my number
fine.
one. I already know who my number one is. I almost forgot to put him on the list, but my wife reminded me. Dude, Nicolas Cage.
So true. Talk about range.
Talk about Range,
So
dude.
good.
And talk about Rage. Rage Cage, man.
Raging Cajun
I
machine.
have to say, dude, the Raging Cajun. I have to say, I enjoyed the film, and I'm excited to go see the foreign film because I have a feeling that the foreign film is going to be better than The Guilty, just because of when you try to translate a movie, it doesn't always work. Like,
Well, I already asked Grant what
Let the Right One In is a great example.
I already asked
and other
Grant
foreign films.
what the differences were, and the ending already has a huge change in it.
Oh, see, I'm excited now because, yeah, I think that the foreign is going to be better than. But again, I still would recommend it. I just don't know what it's like watching the American first and then going
Dude, did you know
watching
Grant
the foreign.
cried
and then
watching the American one with Jake Gyllenhaal's performance. That ending when he's like thrown up on the toilet and then he just like the confession, dude. I thought that was like super like sad.
That's not in the foreign version.
Interesting. I'm still really excited to see it, and I will see it. And then I've been watching the British Baking Show, the Great British Baking Show. Love that.
Correct.
There's nothing like finding out you have an entire season and they're currently filming another season. So you're like, I got a whole binge watch of this, and now I can watch weekly.
Oh, that just reminded me. I
Pretty
need
great.
to watch the new Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Thank you. I forgot they came out with the new season.
And then obviously all the movies for the pod. So we're going to be talking about Whiplash. Really excited to see Whiplash. Or talk
Whiplash is
about it.
incredible.
I'm like, I hope you've seen it.
Oh my gosh, I've seen it, and guys,
talk about it.
just gonna say
It was funny watching.
It might be placing itself on
It
the
was
top
funny
20.
watching.
It really will.
It was funny watching
You're right.
Spider-Man 2.
Have you
right
seen-
after
have you
watching
seen Whiplash, Brighton?
Whiplash is insane.
It's such
I'm like
a
J.K.
good movie.
Simmons is very mild in this movie. In watching Spider-Man 2, right after watching Whiplash, I'm like, oh, such a mild character for J.K. Simmons.
Yeah, you're like, he's really not. Yeah, he's not as mean as you thought he was.
Did you
when
hear his
watched
voice,
Whiplash
Cameron, in
and
the Spider-Man
Invincible.
trailer? I was like, oh snap, they're bringing him back.
No way.
It's
Oh,
great.
yeah,
They're bringing half the cast. They're bringing he's playing Jonah Jameson, and they're bringing Otto Octavius back, which is why I wanted to do.
And they have
Spider-Man 2.
the Green Goblin. He has a pumpkin grenade.
Oh yeah, did you hear it? And you heard William Dafoe's laugh.
There is a pumpkin grenade.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's hilarious. Either way, like, to me, I'm like, go for all things nostalgia, because in the end, everyone gives so much crap for Spider-Man 3. I'm going to defend it right now in 3 seconds. I'm just going to say, Tobey Maguire's character Spider-Man, Peter Parker, thought he was cool, and he wasn't. But see, everyone gives him because they're like, he wasn't cool. And I'm like, I know. He's a nerd, and he thinks he's cool. The movie still
I have
works.
no problems with
It's
that.
cringeworthy, yeah.
They ruined Venom. They made
That's totally
Venom
fair.
look
That's
like
fine.
garbage. Ruined it.
See, that's totally fair. And Sandman was pretty laughable. I'm sorry. Sandman was pretty dang laughable. Like, hey, I'm not a villain. I just have a dying daughter of cancer. Watch Earl and the Dying Girl. There are better ways to deal with it, you
Then falling into a machine and turning into a
just make
sand
a movie,
monster.
yeah. Turn into a sand monster. Just make little indie films, you freak. Or
I
make parody
love
movies.
how it should have ended with Spider-Man. He's like, "Did you close the top of the machine? That's probably a good idea. Let me close it right now."
Why don't we check it? He's like, hey, there's a change in mass. Oh, it's just a bird will fly away. He's like, here's an idea. Why don't you check and make sure that it's a bird?
It's a bird.
Oh my
Before
gosh,
we-
there's a guy down there. Yeah. How about that for science? Okay, folks. Things I'm looking forward to doing. I'm going to see it this weekend, folks. And I'm looking forward to seeing No Time to Die, even though I'm not really looking forward to seeing it.
Everybody
It
has said it's good. Ty, I'm the only one.
Yeah,
Something's wrong
Brighton,
with
you
me.
I
want
know.
to plug your bent rings.
just-
Oh yeah.
Brighton. Wait, you have bent.
Oh, they
what is
can't
it?
see. I make spoon rings. That's what I do. So at
Where can
Bent
they
Rings
find
on
you?
Instagram. At Bent Rings on the Instagram is how you can
Bent.
find me.
BENT. Bent
Yeah, like
rings.
get bent,
Yep.
Ty.
Get bent rings. Get bent
Yep.
rings.
So true. So true.
Love it. Love it. And then you can check out the Sofa King go to his shop if you're in Utah, right? So this is Futro Hit Movie Gems. Leave us an email, futromovies@gmail.com. Leave us a 5-star review. Check us out on Patreon, Spotify, Instagram, Facebook.
Respect the
Like our
research.
videos. Respect the research. All right. Peace and blessings, y'all. This is Futro Hit Movie Gems signing out. Peace. Cancer!